What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and all the likes and the comments on these videos. I really appreciate it. If you could do me a favor though, and before we get started with anything here today, just hit that subscribe button for me. I'd love to make sure that you guys are notified when I'm posting these videos. Today we are doing a little sit down interview with Lord Cordelia. She is the CEO of Newfie Check on TikTok. She has over 200,000 followers on there, and yeah, we're just gonna sit down and figure out how to make a TikTok video. And also the podcast that will be coming out tomorrow will just be a longer sit down and look at her past as an athlete. Also, speaking of podcasts, I just did an interview on The Route. It's a sports business podcast. I'll link that down in the description below, and if you want to check it out, hear what I have to say about just sports business and some of my experiences, yeah, links in the description, and you can listen in and let me know what you think. So yeah, TikTok. What's some of your favorite TikToks out there?
Oh man, there's one TikTok of this guy and he's just, I don't know what he's doing, but every time he does something, he just has this like really loud scream at the end. I can send it to you after. I watch it a million times. And then there's this other, there's these two brothers I watch all the time, and they're Tucker brothers, and they're two redheads. They are hilarious. They do like characters, different skits and stuff like that. I love them too. They're pretty funny.
Okay, so what about trends now? Because there's been TikTok's probably known for just every day there's a new trend, and there's hundreds of thousands of videos made on that one thing. What have been some of your favorite trends?
I really liked the Nerve trend when that was going around, like based on the movie. I don't know if you've seen it with like Dave Franco and Emma Roberts in it, and they played like Truth or Dare. It was like this like mobile game, and like everyone could watch them and stuff. But yeah, they had like a trend on TikTok where you pretend that you're like accepting his dare and stuff like that, so that was pretty cool. There's another trend going around right now where I've only seen girls do it so far, but they like dress up and take a picture and make it look like it was their mugshot. It's kind of sketchy. It's only new. I think I only started seeing it maybe 2 days ago, but I kind of like it. I might do it.
So what have been some of your favorite videos of your own?
God, that's a tough question. I get that a lot. Every time I post a new video, I'm like, that's my favorite. I mean, like, looking back, I'd have to say, definitely, like, I obviously love that Nerve one I did. That one was pretty underrated. But, like, I've got to say, the best one I've done was the one during Snowmageddon, when I was, like, literally no one, every Newfie during Snowmageddon. And I just exaggerated everything. That one was pretty good. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, no, that one killed me. I remember watching that because I was just like, I was back in Ottawa at the time, so I was just basically filling myself in through like social media and everything that was going on.
It was hard to escape it. And I wasn't even on the island, obviously, because I live in Labrador, but my God, I was just going based off of everyone, like all the bots and stuff, right?
What's life like in Labrador?
Pretty chill. There's not a lot on the go here. I live in a really small town, so that's what I like about it, though. I mean, I lived in St. John's. I was born in St. John's, and I grew up in Labrador. And then I lived in St. John's for 3 years when I went to college. And I just found, like, St. John's isn't, like, huge or anything. But I grew up in a small town, so I'm used to being more laid back and relaxing. And I just like the people, and it feels more like home to me. Small town girl.
Yeah, no, for sure. What town did you grow up in?
Wabush.
Wabush? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because it's always interesting because I find for me, like living in the mainland and in the big city like Ottawa, where like a lot of people are coming and going from like, I'm within the university, so you have people from Toronto and stuff like that, and like it's interesting because I almost think people know about Labrador a little bit more because you're attached. The second you're not attached, they just forget about you. But
I find the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, well, I find the opposite when it comes to Newfoundlanders. I always forget about Labrador. That's why, like, every video I do, like, I consider Newfies to be from Newfoundland and Labrador. I've always said that. You know what I mean? I grew up with a really, Newfie family. But I find when it comes to the island, everyone always calls it Newfoundland. Everyone always forgets to say Newfoundland and Labrador. Yeah. I definitely find that. Even on the website for the coronavirus updates, it doesn't even say Labrador, it just says Newfoundland.
Okay, I'm
like, oh, I guess we don't exist. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah.
Well, no, it's funny because I've just had like some constant like Whenever I tell people I'm from Newfoundland, especially like the most common ones I've got is like, okay, Nova Scotia. It's like, no, like that's like a complete, like, not, we're not there yet. I get a lot of oh, okay, so like if I like BC, and it's like, no, like other side.
Literally the other end.
The worst one I think I've ever gotten though was someone was just asking what I do for Christmas, like when Christmas comes around, and I'm like, I go home, and she's like, oh, okay, like awesome, like you can go home and get to be with your family. It's like, yeah, and she basically thought that I was an international exchange student.
Oh my god, really?
Newfoundland wasn't a part of Canada.
That is so weird.
Yeah, I was like, no, like we've been here a while now. Probably the weirdest one I've ever gotten.
I mean, like since I started TikTok, I'm even finding I get messages from people all over Canada being like, thank you so much, like I learned a lot, like I never knew about Newfoundland, or like a lot of them think my videos are nuts and they think I make up a lot of things, but I mean, obviously I didn't make these things up, we know that, but I mean, everyone in the world is like, what the hell's going on over there?
Yeah, no, it's they're pretty on point, and that was actually something so like, how's it feel to be such a like icon now for the province, and just you know, like you're representative of, like, you're basically a teacher to, you know, a couple 100,000 people.
It's weird. I like, a lot of people are like, how do you feel about being famous? So I don't consider myself famous yet. I'd say, like, you know, I have a good following from our province for sure, and I do have like a sparse following from like other parts of the world, mostly Canada, but actually that's a lie. I looked at my analytics the other day, and most of my followers are from the States, but like my interactive like followers who like actually watch me are mostly from Canada. But I don't know, like at first it was kind of like, you know, a bit weird. I'm used to it now, so I don't post a whole lot about like Newfoundland, Labrador now, just because I've, you know, there's only so many things you could do.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't want like people to think I'm copying them, because obviously like the Outhouse has been on the go forever, and they have a lot of wicked videos. I've watched all their videos.
I love the Outhouse.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like,
they're iconic. They're like a lot of the times, like when I just try and like confuse a lot of my friends from the mainland, I just kind of send them one of the
oh man, I love them. They're wicked. I've been watching, well, I started watching like Jayhawk's channel probably when I was in, God, they must have got on the go when I was in grade 10. That was before they named it the Outhouse. It was just called like Newfoundlander Versus when they started those videos. I've been watching them for years, like literally, I guess 10 years now. And yeah, like, I mean, I grew up watching their videos, so I don't want to copy them all. Like, I try to do my own thing when I'm coming up with ideas, but like, yeah, you know, it's pretty hard not to, because there's not that many things you can do at this point, right? Like, I don't want to beat it to death either, but like,
yeah, no, for sure. What do you think of just the like creative process? Like, how do you get from idea to video?
People ask me this a lot. I don't really have an answer for it. I have ADD, so, and I find, you know, ADD comes with a lot of pros and a lot of cons, but like a lot of the pros are that I do have a very creative mind, and I can think of like 20 things at one time. So I'll just come up with an idea at like 3 o'clock in the morning, write it down, and then the next day I'll think about it. But sometimes I'll just like get an idea in my head, and I'm like, if I don't do this right now, it's not going to be as good. So I try to like do stuff like on the fly. I do not put too much thought into it. The videos where I don't put too much thought into it are always the ones that do better.
Yeah, no, it typically seems to be the way. I mean, I've put in like, because I put in my own content too, and you know, sometimes on Instagram as like a photographer, but then like I've been trying to, you know, obviously get into YouTube a little bit, just from I had the opportunity to work with a pretty big YouTuber there for a few months, so he kind of opened my eyes into that platform. So like, there's been videos where like I've, you know, spent like a couple $100s on like the execution of it all, and like it does good. And then I'll go down to Grand Bank with my grandfather for a weekend, and I'll film that and I'll put it out, and it's got like, it's my best performing video.
It's always the stuff that's more candid, I find, that does better, unless you're doing like a skit or like a scripted skit. But I'm not really, I mean, I've done a couple skits on TikTok, but that's not really like my thing, you know what I mean? Like, I like doing vlogs and like talking about like how to and stuff like that. Like I've been into YouTube since, I found videos on my mom's computer from when I was in grade 7 with my best friend, and we filmed this 12-minute video called the Cordelia and Robin Show. Oh my God. So iconic. I love it so much. It's like, it's not edited or anything like that. I've always been on camera, like ever since I was a kid, and I've always just had a passion for it. But yeah, I don't know, I guess the candid stuff. I like to just turn the camera on and go with the flow. Like, I don't try to put too much thought into it. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to pull inspiration too. And like I said, I'm from a small town, so it's not like I can go and collab with, other creators and stuff like that. Like if I'm collabing with someone, I have to be able to do it like, via they send their part of the video and we edit together, so it makes it look like we're in it together. But sometimes that's hard to loses the illusion.
Yeah, no, I mean, collabs have always been a pretty big, it's a big thing in just the creator space, and you see a lot of people move, go to big cities and stuff like that. Do you ever think you'd leave a small town to go, LA, Toronto, Vancouver, those are some of your big cities? No,
No, I think I don't know. I just love it here so much. All my family lives here, Like me and my mom run a business here. My boyfriend works at the mine here. He has a really good job. And like all his family's here. And like my whole life, I couldn't wait to get a Labrador. Like I could not wait. I'm always like, I can't believe I'm stuck in this small town. I'm such a city girl. Like I always felt like I didn't fit in. I still don't feel like I fit in here at all, by the way. I don't have anything in common with anyone here. But I was like, I can't wait to move to St. John's, big city now, right? I get there, I'm like, this is too busy for me. I couldn't handle it. But yeah, it's always nice to visit, but I like being able to just chill out here and, take vacations and always have this to come back to. It's just, I don't know. It's weird.
No, I definitely get that. But so you mentioned your vlogs, and you call them plogs, eh?
Yeah, I haven't done a vlog in a long time. Like before I started doing like the vlogging videos that I do now, I would just take pictures throughout the day, and that's kind of how I engaged with a lot of my followers, I guess. But I take pictures throughout the day and I just voice them over. I just found like vlogging is more high quality, but vlogs are pretty funny. It's been a really long time since I've done one though, but I always say I want to do one again, but I just never really do it.
Honestly, I've loved them. They're one of I think my favorite videos because it's such a unique way. I haven't really seen a lot of people do like the vlog style in that sense with pictures and just like a funny voiceover with some commentary. I
know, I hadn't either. Not like saying I made it up or anything, I didn't. If you Google plug, like there's a definition for it. It's just nobody does it. Yeah, I think I would get back into it. But I mean, I'm off work now due to coronavirus and I'm not leaving my house, so there's not much to be at. But yeah, definitely something I would like to get back into for sure. It's just like, I also don't like being too repetitive because if people follow you because you're known for a certain reason, that's all they expect of you. So I like to post all kinds of different content. Like I don't just have one set thing that I post kind of thing. So
yeah, no, it's kind of hard to deliver on the expectation of just vlogs and stuff, because I mean that's kind of why I expanded into this, because to get to interact with some other people, because the channel, I'll post some of my vlogs and like, sometimes within my realm of like sports photography and working in sports, it's interesting, when the team that I'm like taking photos of makes it to the finals of that playoff series, but then like, all the other, say, 60 regular season games are pretty much the same thing over and over again, right? So yeah, it doesn't like the process of what you do doesn't change so much. Sometimes there's like little snippets, and I mean, you almost need a camera rolling 24/7 to capture those.
I would love someone to like film me 24/7, because like people only sees like little parts of my life, but I'm pretty foolish like 24/7. Like you don't know what's going to come out of my mouth, and that's why I try to record as much as I can. But at the same time, I'm always filming myself, so it feels like, oh, I gotta do this. If I had someone filming me, oh man, way different.
Like do you follow Gary Vee at all?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so almost like a D-Rock, just someone following you around all the time, filming everything. I'm curious with like how much content he puts out, like what actually gets held back.
I know, right? And like he obviously doesn't edit his own videos. Like he pays people to do all that for him. So like imagine how all the extra time he has to just like shoot the shit, you know what I mean? I wish I could do that, but like I'm not in a position to have someone film me and pay them to edit it. You know what I mean? Like
so you talked about your business a little bit there. So from my understanding, it's a like nail salon, beauty.
Yeah, my mom owns a massage therapy clinic here, and I just rent a room out there. So we're separate businesses, but like we work together.
Yep.
Yeah, I do aesthetics, so like
Okay.
manicures, pedicures, facials, waxing, all the fun stuff.
Do you ever think that like that could be some of your TikToks?
Sometimes, but like I don't like mixing business with pleasure because
Yeah.
it makes me not want to do it. I actually originally went to school to be a makeup artist, and when I got out of school, I never wanted to do it again. Like I was like, no, I don't want to do this like a job. Like this is something I just like to do for fun. I have done a couple videos where I film stuff at work, but like when I'm at work, I just like to be one-on-one with a client. I don't want to have to worry about taking videos. It's hard. If I had like a better setup where I could like have my phone set up or like have someone help me film, it would be easier. But I mean, I work on my own, so I'm not like really in a position to do that. And not everyone's comfortable with it either. So I mean, there's so much to do with that too at the same time.
For sure. So this series is obviously it's related to sports a little bit, and it's funny because when so like how I kind of first like found out about your videos is because when I was up on the mainland, people started asking me I mean, everybody always asks like, oh, do you know this person? Like, do you know this person?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, no, like guys, like we don't know everybody. And then
Yeah.
sure enough, we haul up, someone hauls up one of your videos and shows me, and I'm like, oh, I know who that guy is. Like,
Yeah.
it's Noah. So I played hockey against Noah for
Okay.
yeah, for a few years there. So how do you know him?
He is my boyfriend's best friend.
Okay.
Yeah, he's out, well, before the corona, I would say before the virus. He was at our house all the time. Like and me and him are really close as well, actually. But yeah, we call him Uncle Noah because me and Brett don't have any kids, but we have a dog, and Juno loves him, so we always call him Uncle Noah or Unc or something like that. But yeah, I've known him for a while. I think he's 4 years younger than me, so like I might have went to high school with him, but like I don't think I played hockey with him or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, no, because because it was so funny because I was very adamant on like, no, like I don't know who these people are. Like they're in Labrador. Like I haven't even stepped foot in Labrador in my life, right? Like, and then sure enough, they show me one of their videos, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know who that is.
I actually know them. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I know I get that a lot too. People, if I'm going live on TikTok, do you know so and so? Do you know so and so? I'm like, no, I don't. Like,
Yeah.
They're like 8 years old. I don't know them. But every now and then it's like, do you know this person? I'm like, yeah, I actually do know that person. I went to Mexico with them last year. Like, you never know. I get it all the time too.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, but yeah, you've got a pretty interesting background with sports there. And first, I'll let you kind of just describe it, and then we'll.
Oh, well, I grew up playing hockey my whole life. Like, I must have been like 7 or 8 when I started. Played all the way up through high school. I was on Team NL. I played with Atlantic Canada team at one point. Played girls AAA, boys AAA. Like I played it all the way up to high school. And then when I graduated high school, I stayed home for a year. I just played like overage or house league and then under 20 female all-stars. But like, I mean, I played ball hockey, soccer, everything growing up. Like I was always into sports more than anything. Like that was my whole life. Like, I play hockey 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day. Like that was it. That was my life. When I graduated high school and moved to St. John's, I went to Academy Canada. And we didn't have like res hockey, obviously, because I was at like a private college. I did play a couple pickup games like with some of my friends who were in res, like just practice stuff. But like I never really got into hockey after high school. Unfortunately, I missed a lot. And then when I moved back from St. John's, I got really into like the gym and lifting weights and stuff like that. And my mom had, at that point when I moved back, I think she had done 2 or 3 like figure competitions, bodybuilding competitions. And she had gone like to Atlantic. She'd won like her overall, stuff like that, her age group. And I was like fascinated by it. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to do a bikini competition. So I started my prep and I did a bikini competition. And when I was in prep, I also started to learn how to snowboard. And it was a bad idea.
I used to snowboard. Didn't really go well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But at the time when I was, in prep and doing that, like my body was changing so much at the time. I was really tiny. I'd lost like 80 pounds and like I was small. And then when you do these kind of competitions, it kind of messes with your body and different parts of your body. And I guess between doing the prep and the snowboarding, it was just too much for my body. And one day I was on the lying leg curl machine at the gym, and I threw out my back for the first time. And I've always had a bad back because I got scoliosis and stuff like that. But this time was like different. It was the first time I threw my back out, and I was like just in agony, like really bad. And then ever since I did that, like I finished doing my prep, I competed and stuff like that. And then I was going to do another competition, but like I struggled a lot with, I had like struggled with eating disorders and stuff like that. So it was a better idea for me to not compete again. And then on top of that, I was dealing with a bad back, and then, you know, I was gaining my weight back, and I was just like, my body it was not a good time for me. And then when I started feeling better, I was like, you know, there was a guy here, Kyle Pollitt, who runs like the jiu-jitsu classes at the gym. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should try that. Like, that might be fun. So I joined jiu-jitsu and I loved every second of it. And my back was doing good. And like, that's when Gavin Tucker came in and did like a seminar with us, and we met him, and it was really awesome. He's super nice, by the way. Like, he's like one of the nicest people ever.
Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure to meet him. I follow him obviously because, I mean, when you're from Newfoundland and Labrador, you tend to be a fan of anybody associated with Newfoundland and Labrador, and you want to see them do well. So I've watched a few of his fights. Hopefully, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll eventually have him on, and we'll do something with him. But
yeah, he's super sweet, and like, you know, he came in. I didn't know. Like, I'm not gonna be like, you know, that kind of person. I didn't know who he was until like before he came in and we met him. I've never been one to watch like fighting or anything like that growing up. I've never been into martial arts, but like jiu-jitsu, oh my god, I loved it.
Where I kind of wanted to leeway this is that athletes, like, there's always going to be a last day for someone. Like, you're not going to get to play at the level that you want for your whole life. And so I find you know, with individuals, you know, you almost got to find like a different thing to kind of solidify and hold on to that identity. And for me, you know, it was working in sports and still getting to be because the biggest thing that I've always loved is like the locker room morale, and like, you know, getting to be a part of like the process, right? So that's why I started working in sports and like working with teams. So for you, you've almost correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like you've kind of gone into like the live performance side of things, where like you're
did a total 180 and was like, you know what, I'm gonna start theater. So like it's crazy because I was growing up, you know, when I was younger, I did a couple like plays, and I was always in the ensemble, something small like that. And then after I was hurt and, you know, couldn't do what I was used to doing, and, you know, kept hurting myself over and over and over again. And I mean, my back wasn't the only injury I had over the years, like, believe it or not. Clumsy person. I mean, I was on crutches in high school like the whole time. I was in a cast. Like, I broke my arm twice. I broke my ankle twice. So it was always something. Fell down the stairs one time, sprouted ligaments out my shoulder. Like, I've just been like this my whole life. So my body, you know, is just like, man, no. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start doing theater. I've always liked public speaking, and, you know, it's fun. Acting is a fun time for me. So
how have you found some of the practices from like sport help you in the live theater?
I've definitely always played team sports, so I find when it comes to like a theater group and your cast, it's similar to a team. You know, obviously it's different kinds of people. Yeah, I don't have a lot in common with a lot of people that do like theater stuff, like local theater or anything like that. I really don't. But when it comes down to it, by the time you're ready to step on stage for your opening night, you're best friends with these people that you have nothing in common with. But like, I always treat everyone like, you know, everyone has to be included, and I want everyone to feel comfortable. And like, if there's conflict, which there is, it's theater. What do you expect? There's drama within the drama. Always, no matter who your cast is, there's always going to be someone who, you know, is starting something. So it's hard sometimes, but like, I always just try to, you know, be like, hey man, let's do this. Come on, like, you know, we're a team. Miss hockey a lot though.
Yeah. What have you taken from like live performances to put into your TikTok?
Oh, okay. So the best thing about TikTok is that when I'm filming something, there's not like a live audience there. I get so nervous, like on the night of the show, like if I'm doing a show, because I know there's gonna be an audience. So my nerves get the best of me really bad. I'll be sick all day and stuff like that. So I definitely, I find in comparison, I would rather be in front of a camera than in front of an audience, big time. But I definitely, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I guess if I'm doing a skit or something like that, like obviously I've picked up tips over the years with acting and stuff. Like there's some things I try to do when, like, I can't really explain it. Let me think now. I guess just being myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep it rolling. Like the show must go on. You always got to do what you got to do to get what you need to do to get done.
Well,
I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And well, I think that's it's important to to build an audience, because I think a lot of people are always trying to replicate and copy and take ideas from other creators. But at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm gonna watch someone, like if I'm gonna watch a Newfie check, like I'm gonna be watching it from Lord Cord. Like I'm not I'm not gonna be watching it from someone who just kind of like well, I guess that hashtag is almost to like show off like things of Newfoundland.
I was the first person ever used that hashtag, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it exploded.
It's the things where it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch this type of content from like the origin of the creator, because I mean, nobody can do it better than yourself, right? Like if you created it, right? So
the thing with that trend, like the Newfie check, is like there was a ton of different other people who had done like, Nova Scotia check, New Brunswick check, like, Canada check. There was a ton, but I'm like, how come there's no Newfie one? Like, how come nobody's done that yet? At this point, I had only seen like maybe 3 or 4 people on TikTok from Newfoundland and Labrador, and none of them followed me. And then all of a sudden, Newfie check just exploded. And I was actually going to delete that video because when I first posted it, it didn't do very well. So I'm glad I left it up, by the way. But yeah, so like, when you first upload a video, what you're saying, you get the original like tag on the video. So even if someone clicks that sound to use it, my video will be the first one to come up. So yeah, it's pretty cool. People know it's me. A lot of people don't know it's me, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I try to use that hashtag as much as I possibly can so that more people can see it.
Well, I always, it's interesting because I find, like you mentioned, with not a lot of people on Newfoundland, I think it was over Christmas when like TikTok really kind of started blowing up for like Newfoundland and Labrador. And because like for me, like I always just kind of use TikTok as the like, okay, like here's an update on like the stuff that I've been working on, with photography. Like sometimes if like I'm on site, like it looks a little cool. So I was home and I got credentials to shoot a Growlers game, actually.
Cool.
So the day before, I was just more or less just walking around downtown, and that was literally the video. I was just like, hey guys, I'm downtown, got some time to kill, so I'm gonna take some pictures of these boats, right? And then like
I seen that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that video ended up getting like 500 likes, which is insane for what it was. And 15, 20 comments of people being like, oh my god, I'm from St. John's, or like, oh my god, like I'm from
I think I seen that before I knew who you were.
Really, eh?
Yeah. When was that?
Funny.
When did you say you posted that video?
That was over Christmas, so like
okay, yeah, I did see that. I think someone sent it to me or something, but people tag me in videos all the time. If there's anything noticeable from Newfoundland, I get tagged. I'm like, I've seen it already. Like, thanks, but thanks.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, I think that's like the biggest kind of advantage with TikTok right now is like the potential for things to just catch on and go viral and get shared is incredible.
Yeah, and it's so random. People ask me all the time, how did you get TikTok famous? I'm like, well, I'm not there yet. I wouldn't consider myself. I think once you hit 1 million, yes, but 200,000, it's a lot. But I mean, anyone can get that many followers and just like that overnight. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to a girl a couple weeks ago who she came up on my For You page. She had 30,000 followers. This was at the beginning of March. I followed her and she was hilarious. I was like, oh my god, I want to be best friends with you. And then she followed me back and she now has 1.1 million followers.
Wow.
since the beginning of March. So like it just happens, right? Like overnight. So I mean, it just the right timing. TikTok is just random.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be just a new app where, I mean, there definitely is like some solidified creators who, like, yeah, okay, these are the people that you go on TikTok to watch, but there's also like so many other like niches that you can kind of dive into and become popular just from that. And I think a big thing too is like one thing that people don't realize is that like with every other app, it's basically a silent app. So in the sense of like, you know, TikTok, you're going on, like, you know, like you're prepared to listen to sound, right? Which is huge, because if you want to post videos anywhere, I mean, aside from YouTube, like that's the one spot where like people are going to be listening, because you could toss on Instagram and somebody doesn't have their sound turned on because they're not looking for it, right? They're just looking at some photos.
And the thing with TikTok too is like you can go on there and not even follow anyone, and then there's still hundreds of people on your For You page. Like it's so like unique in that way. It's great to give people opportunities that have like, you know, that are talented and that have this uniqueness to them that they can show to the world. It's a great platform to use to show people, because you're going to come up on someone's For You page, no matter who you are. Like you're going to get at least one view.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing too, what do you think just kind of goes into a viral TikTok and then, you know, translating that into followers?
The most candid thing ever, I find. Video and those. So, okay, there's no in between. There's POVs, like point of view videos, where people are like point of view, blah blah blah. And that's that whole community, which is, they're great, doing their thing. And then there's the candid, viral, Vine type video, like that we all know and love, and those are the best ones. You know what I mean? Like nothing goes into it. It's something that you catch on camera and you're like, holy shit, what did I just catch on camera? Like, how did that happen? Those kind of things. So I was on Vine forever. When Vine was a thing, I loved Vine. It was wicked, you know? That's where all like the viral videos come from. TikTok now is kind of like the new Vine. So, I mean, when it comes to going viral, I guess, I don't know. There's so many videos that I have, I'm like, that's definitely going to go viral. Like, that's a wicked video. And it gets like, you know, a couple thousand likes, which is great. It's a good thing. I'm not complaining. But then I'll post a video of like, I don't know. I posted one over Christmas of my stepmom saying that her cat looked like Melania Trump. I love that one. It's classic. Okay. So I posted that, I think it was December 29th, and it's still trending right now. Like it's still going on for people's For You pages. So, and it got like millions of views on it. And I'm like, I don't even know, man. Like that was not planned. I just took the camera. When she said it, I was like, you need to say that again. Cause like, I don't even, what just happened? So funny.
I find it, so it's funny that you mentioned Vine though, because I find maybe the older audience on TikTok is more familiar with Vine than the younger one. And so there's been this thing that I've noticed with Newfoundland on TikTok now. Older people, like, I mean, and this is myself, like I'm 23. So like we say bye all the time, and it's spelled B-Y.
Yes.
I
know it is.
Where did this Where did this BHY come from? Like,
oh my God, that is the biggest argument. That is the biggest argument I get in my comment sections. If I post a caption, I'm like, this is it, boys. It says BY or B apostrophe Y. It's BY. It's always been that for me growing up. Well, I think it's like up until millennials. After millennials, when it's like Generation Z, maybe even a little bit past that, they randomly started adding an H in there. And a lot of my younger audience is like, you're spelling it wrong. You're not a true newfie. I'm like, listen, I've been here around I've been here and I've been around way longer than you are. Don't try and argue with me over it. So actually, the funny thing about that is I posted a video. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna settle the debate now. Okay, is it buy or buy? Anyways, it is BY, by the way, because if you do this, that's the only thing that comes up. So I dropped some merch a couple weeks ago with a shirt that say yes buy / yes buy, but it's spelled the two different ways. A lot of people bought them, so it's pretty funny. I'll always say BY though. I don't care.
I'm 100% on board with BY. I didn't even know that was a thing until I started. Like someone commented on my video, and it was like I posted a TikTok, and he he goes, yes, bye, you're on the For You page, right? And he spelled it BHY, and I was like, honestly, I'm glad I'm on the For You page just so I can tell you that it's spelled BY.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you go into my comment section on my Newfie video, I might just do one today, just so we can test the waters here. Oh my God, it drives me. They like start to do it, but anything, right? And the one girl is like trying to make an expose video about me. She's like, I have proof she's not a true Newfie. I'm like, why would I pretend? Why would I make this up? It's literally my brand.
Well, here's the thing: you dipped into the Trump fandom with that Melania Trump video. So now people are. It's going to be a whole Obama thing where they want to see your birth certificate.
Right? There was a lot of comments on there. They were like, Trump 2020. I'm like, okay, I'm Canadian. I don't want it. This was not my intentions. I'm really wonder if like him or Melania seen it, because it was all over there was a news article in the Sun, I think it's like a UK like male, like I don't know, there was an article in it, but yeah, I'm like, oh God, if they seen it. And the Trump fan, someone like, because I sold the rights to that video so that they could post it and like do articles and stuff about it, and like I've come across a couple on Facebook and the comments are like, that's such a shame. That's so mean to compare Melania to a cat and all this. You're a disgusting person. I'm like, fuck that, man.
That's
say she was ugly.
That's the internet for you, though. There's always going to be someone who just wants to throw some hate. How have you found the comment section so far?
You know, I don't know. I have good days and bad days. I try. I'm to the point now where I don't like to be controversial or anything because I know I'm going to get negative comments, and I like to avoid it at all costs. But at the same time, there's days where I'm like, I have to get this off my chest. Like I don't care, and I'll prepare myself for it. But I don't get hate comments very often. Usually if I do, it's on a viral video and it's from people who don't follow me. Every now and then I'll get like hate comments from my actual followers, and that I kind of take that personally. It's hard not to, you know what I mean? Like I'm only a human being, so sometimes it will get under my skin, but most of the time I'll just delete the comment and like block the person who made it. But like, I mean, I was in a circumstance last week where an older gentleman that followed me from Newfoundland seen one of my videos and didn't like it because I was swearing in it, and I'm like, okay. He was like, your content is diminishing, and I was like, what? And he's like, I just hope that your kids that are following you like don't see this video. I'm like, okay. Anyways, I just deleted his comment, never thought nothing of it. And then I made a video kind of like making fun of how some people don't like that I swear off my videos and all that. And I'm like, you know, you don't have to follow me. And you know, it's not my fault. If a kid's parents gives them a phone and they're following my TikTok, that is not on me. You know what I mean? And then he went back and commented on my video again and was like, you had a great opportunity to be a role model here. So I'm like, okay, buddy. All right. So anyways, I ended up blocking him after because he was just harassing me. I can't, like, you know, I just found that was annoying, so whatever. But like, you know, there's always going to be someone who got something to say.
Yeah, no, it's very it's interesting. But the funny thing is too is what people don't realize is sometimes they just give you more content to post, right? Because I mean, now all of a sudden you can make a video just about that, right? So
exactly. Not only that, but when people comment on my videos, it actually bumps my analytics, so it gives it more of a chance to go on the For You page. But like, in saying that, like, I don't get it a lot. I really don't. When I do, it does, you know, it hurts. I gotta say, I try not to take it too personally. 99% of the chance it's from a kid. If it's from a kid, I just delete it. I'm like, whatever. They don't know what they're talking about. But when it's from adults, I'm like, really? I'm like, shut up.
Okay, but yeah, honestly, thanks so much for doing this. That's basically everything that I have for you.
Cool, that was fun. I've never done this, so this is like cool.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. I wanted to, like I said, I always want to try and like put a little spin onto it and differentiate it. So I know you've done a few, like just you know, media articles and podcasts, mainly about like TikTok and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to tackle it from a little bit of a Newfoundland aspect, and then, but also. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. That is it for this video. Please, once again, consider subscribing, and yeah, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, I highly recommend going and checking out Cordelia on TikTok. You won't regret it. It's hilarious. And yeah, I hope you're all staying safe. Some of these videos are going to be like the traditional style from when we started because they were filmed a little while ago. And then other ones are going to be Zoom call, sit down interviews like this just in the time being. Okay, but yeah, in the meantime, stay best kind.